Everyone, Miriam Fuld, widow of my good friend, I'm about to cry, Ari Fuld. Hashem Yikom Damo. Miriam's a warrior, just like Ari was, and you're going to hear right now about her recent trip to Washington, D.C., where the Supreme Court is heard, whatever, all the legal stuff dealing with the family suing to be repaid by the Palestinian Authority for its direct connection in terms of literally funding, rewarding the barbaric terrorist, the Islamo-Nazi terrorist who killed my friend and Miriam's husband, Ari. So, Miriam, good seeing you. Good seeing you and knowing you're keeping up the good fight. And here we have the JNS Summit in Jerusalem, our eternal, indivisible capital since King David's time. And continue all the wonderful positivity about Am Yisrael, the Jewish people, the land of Israel, just like Ari did, in your own way. What were you doing in Washington, D.C.? All of a sudden, I see pictures of Miriam and her kids on the steps of the Supreme Court of Congress. Like, whoa, what's she doing there?
It all happened really, really, really fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are suing the PA and the PLO in U.S. court. Ari was an American citizen. We are American citizens. I'm not very good with details, I warned you.
It's okay.
The legal jargon and everything. But we started out in one court that denied our claim, went to a different circuit court in New York, and they claimed that it was unconstitutional for us to sue the PA and PLO in U.S. court.
Okay.
I think it's sort of like a double or a trifold reason. Number one, does the U.S. recognize the PA and the PLO as official organizations that can be sued? And second of all, can you sue them for something that happened 7,000 miles away? So the PA and the PLO, who have a nice Jewish lawyer, of course.
What's his name? Nice Jewish name? Okay, well, nice Jewish name.
You know.
Oh, it's public information.
Yeah.
You don't have to say. Yeah. But it's very sad. It's very, very sad.
So the PA and the PLO are sort of like claiming a few things, and they're very smart with their wording, you know? You can read a very, very good article that Maurice Hirsch wrote about it. I'll send it to you afterwards. Very interesting because really my mind doesn't really cop this stuff. On the one hand, they're like, oh, we're miskenim, so, you know, help us. We want a state. We're refugees and everything. So recognize us. And on the other hand, they say, oh, well, if you're not sending us aid and you're not sending us money, don't recognize us. So you can't recognize us for the pay for slay that we support.
But you can't sue us. So recognize us in order to give us money to support us to kill Jews. Don't recognize us in order to be punished because we're killing Jews.
So there's a lot of discussion, the whole discussion there in the Supreme Court. First it was anything that's constitutional law goes to the Supreme Court. And then it was a question if the Supreme Court was willing to hear our case.
Right.
And that went on for a very long time until the Supreme Court agreed to give a court date, which was April 1st. I said, are you kidding?
Is this real?
Are you really? And then my lawyer said it would be a good thing if I was there, and it would be good for my kids to be there as well. It's very important. So quickly, you know, we waited for the court date. Once we got the court date, and then,
Now, there are two stories you told me about, if you can, I'd love for you to be able to share. First of all, are you able to share what your son, Yakir, said? I think it was
two very amazing things happened. Besides the Supreme Court, which was amazing in itself. The fact that the Supreme Court was willing to hear the case is amazing. There are 9 Supreme Justices. All we need is a majority of 5-4. Let's see. All they're basically saying is, are we, American citizens, allowed to sue the PA and the PLO in U.S. court? That's the question here. It's a jurisdictional matter. Are they recognized in U.S. court? Can we sue them? If they approve, we have to go back to square one and continue from the beginning.
Got it. From the lower courts.
If you want, you can also look up the Sakalo case. They are coming back to appeal their case. They got denied. A whole bunch of acts that were canceled, rewritten. I'm not going to get into that. And I really wanted this to be a positive experience for my kids when we went to Washington, because if we do get denied by the Supreme Court, I don't want my kids to feel that the whole entire world is against us. They live here. They grew up here. They're fighting for Israel, you know, physically. And I really wanted them to get a positive experience. One of the things that our lawyer Sam set up with us is a meeting with the head prosecutors of the counterterrorism in the Department of Justice, which was incredible. They were so forthcoming, and they sat down with us and introduced themselves. We introduced ourselves, and then they said, "What do you have to say to us? Do you have anything to say? We are listening." And that to me was incredible, just that they were listening and they were taking notes. And each one mentioned something, of course, about how long it took us to get our terrorist. It took us 2 years to put him away in jail to convict him. Of course, because you know that his first lawyer, the terrorist's first lawyer, was thrown into jail for shooting at Israeli cars.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they had, then it took 3 months until they got him a new lawyer. Don't ask. Like you're reading a novel.
Whoa.
Took us 2 years to put him away and only 4 years for him to get released. Right? And that was a sore spot. What are they doing? What, you know, with the, you know, hostages, the war, the situation of Israel. Well, one of the major things that my son said, he said, we're fighting the war. We are physically fighting the war in Israel. I put on my uniform. I go to Miluim. We're fighting. What are you doing to help us? What are you doing to help Israel? I think that was a very important question for not only for them to hear, but also to answer. They were very supportive. I'm very happy to say, obviously, they're fighting a war on a different front. This is exactly what we're doing here at the JNS, fighting it online, fighting on a legal front. It's a little bit different than, you know. But yeah, all in all, I think it was very positive. Walking down the halls, past all these offices of the representatives and congressmen, with
I support
big
Israel.
signs. We stand with Israel. It's very important for us to see, because all you hear on the media is the anti and the negative, and there are people out there that support us.
Right,
and it's important for us to remember.
And
that.
that's a great segue, because you said there was one person that you met before walking in to the Supreme Court. Can you share that?
We were waiting online to do a tour of the Capitol building, and there was a guy standing in front of us, and he's talking to this other group in front, and he says, "What's your name?" And they ask him, "And what's your name?" And he says, "My name is Israel, and I live here in D.C. I'm very interested in the judicial system and what goes on in the Supreme Court." Okay. So when he finished talking to them, we turn to him and we say, "Your name is Israel?" He says, "Yeah." Said, "Well, we are from Israel." Oh my gosh, I love Israel. I support Israel. And then we're going through all of our names. I said, "You understand that all of our names have a meaning in Hebrew?" "Oh, I'd love to hear." And we're telling him the meaning. My daughter Tamar, Naomi, my son-in-law Matanya, Yakir, all the names have a meaning. And then I say, "And my name is Miriam." And he says, "Oh, that's the name on the Supreme Court case that I'm going tomorrow to hear." I said, "That's my name. That's us, Miriam Fuld." Oh my gosh, you're amazing.
Wow.
It was amazing. And just meeting that random meeting in the middle of, you know, again, there are people out there that support us. All you need to do is open your eyes and find them. They're out there. And people who want to fight for truth and justice, which is exactly what Ari was all about. And that's what we're trying to do in his memory.
Right. Everybody, the amazing Miriam Fuld. And I know Miriam even before she got married to Ari.
You knew Ari before.
I knew Ari as a little kid, right?
Me too. Yeah.
That's right. But I hope you guys got a little bit, not just an update about a legal case, and a very important legal case that would be precedent for any American citizen to be able to sue, right, in the American court system. But you got to hear some of the positivity as well, and especially positivity from Ari Fuld's widow, Miriam Fuld. There are always reasons, I always tell people, there's always reasons to be sad, always reasons to be depressed, always reasons not to get out of bed in the morning, and we all deal with issues and we all deal with tragedies. The challenge we have to give ourselves is, what are we going to focus on and what's under our control to move forward and bring positivity to our own lives and everyone else's life around us? And you definitely hear that from Miriam and the direction she is leading her family as well. So thank you so much, Miriam.
Thank you. We have to sign off like Ari from the beautiful rolling hills of Jerusalem, Judea. This is where it is.
Amen, folks. Amen, folks. And then I'll give the Pulse of Israel ending. Thanks for joining us for another episode here in our eternal and beautiful homeland, Israel.
Stay tuned, true believers.
In our eternal, beautiful, biblical, and indivisible capital, Jerusalem, since King David's time. And never forget those truths. If you're not yet a subscriber to our Pulse of Israel videos, what are you waiting for? To go to pulseofisrael.com and click to subscribe. And yes, we are a donor-based operation. We need your support. We're heavily censored. Of course, all social media platforms. It's thanks to your donations, large or small, that help us do our work. So every once in a while, click on the donate button on pulseofisrael.com. Shalom, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.